Hello everyone. In this video I will compare two different methods for retrieving information from a PDF file. One using Salesforce Agentforce data library and the other one using OpenAI Assistance API. First, I will demo both approaches by asking real questions and showing the results. Then I will explain the technical differences between Salesforce Agentforce data library, RAG and vector retrieval, and OpenAI's Assistant API with API calls. For this demo, I am using publicly available PDF document from Immigration and Naturalization Service IND. IND is the government authority responsible for processing residence permits, visas, and other immigration matters in the Netherlands. This document contains information about study visas, work regulations for students, and other relevant topics. And this PDF file is available from ind.nl forms 3087.pdf. Now let's jump into the demo. I will ask two questions, but two questions in one time. Let's first ask Agentforce and then ask it to standard OpenAI API, custom OpenAI API. And now I'm sending the prompts. So this is using the R agent action because I set the loading IND document to the spinner, and this is already available. This push creates a thread and pulls the message every 3 seconds, and the answers are ready. So since our question is what are the work restrictions for students and how does non-EU student apply for a residence permit, so this one builds two different responses. And first one is about working under certain conditions. They can work up to 16 hours. A non-EU student cannot apply for residence permit themselves. The educational institution where the student is registered must apply for it. And here, international students in the Netherlands need to comply with specific work restrictions, can work up to 16 hours. And here the others, the PDF file, keywords, and the title is given. This one is coming to study in the Netherlands. It also provides the source file. So these are the both two approaches to retrieve data from two different sources. So I will put the responses to the comments. So I would like to see hear from more about which one is better, which one makes sense. Of course, both are good in my eyes. When I read them, they provide correct answers. And now, after the demo, I'll show you what's happening behind the scenes. And the first one is Agentforce data library and data cloud retrieval. In this approach, the PDF file is uploaded to Agentforce data library. I created a new library here and then upload the file by simply clicking to upload files, and after a couple of minutes later this is ready to ingest. And once I go to data cloud, I can see that the data stream is already created and data lake objects, first chunk and index objects are created, and I can also query the data lake objects from here. Chunk file, I can see that the chunks are kind of the paragraphs in the PDF files. There are 10 chunks here, 11. And then I can see that also here, if I click Einstein Studio Retrievers, the retriever is already created here. Now I can use this retriever in my prompt builder, but also I could use the default file UDMO. Next step is the creating the prompt. I go to prompt builder, click new button, and I select knowledge answers. IND study in NL. I've created already one prompt template. And you are AI assistant specializing in Dutch immigration policies. Your task is to assist users by answering questions based on the IND documentation. Here in the resource, we can use data cloud search by clicking Einstein search rack file, and we can select the file that we uploaded. And here you should not forget to give the search parameters. We need to put input query and also mention the search term in here. Then save as and test the inputs. You can put your query, your prompt here, and what is the retriever ID. The retriever ID is when you click here, you can copy and paste the retriever ID to here. And once our prompt is ready, then we need to create an agent action. Here I have created one, IND study in NL. And here we need to put the agent instructions and select retriever ID require input and query require input and meaningful instruction here, and click show in conversation, pick the show in conversation in stations and prompt response. And once the agent action is created, you need to add the agent action to a topic, and you open the builder, select the topic that you would like to add, and here this topic actions you can edit from here. But of course, since this is active, you need to deactivate it in order to add the agent topic action. Then it's ready to be used in the Einstein Copilot or Agentforce. And these are the all steps for Agentforce data library. It's pretty straightforward and easy. Once you upload the file, you don't need to do anything. You only need to use it in your prompts. OpenAI Assistant API. Now let's look at the alternative approach using OpenAI Assistant API. Here, if I go to Assistance Playground, the same PDF file should be uploaded using OpenAI. And first we need to create an assistant, simply clicking create new assistant, give it a name, and then stem instructions, upload the files, it will create the vector store, and then it's ready to be used. This assistant ID is important. Let's look at the backend side. In the client side, I have an LWC, and once the prompt is entered, the button is clicked, it creates and I'll get the answer, and this calls create thread method. Here in the create thread, we have prompt message and assistant ID. This is the same as the one I used here. And then we call the prompt service. Prompt service calls the integration service. Here we create thread with content and add messages to thread, and then we run the thread. First, let's look at the create thread method. We need to thread an endpoint here, OpenAI threads, and don't forget to create named credential for it. Then we get the thread ID. Second step is add messages to thread. It's the same as using ChatGPT. When you write a message, when you create a thread, first you write your message, and when you press enter button, what it does is actually adding message to thread. And last step is run thread. We need to run the thread in order to get the response. And once we call the run thread, here with thread ID runs, then we get the response. And second step is, of course, the message is not ready immediately. This is asynchronous process. It takes a couple of seconds to generate. So we have retrieve messages. Every 3 seconds it pulls the data by calling retrieve thread messages. And if I go to retrieve thread messages, here the role is user, but the role should be assistant. And then we can parse the newly added message and show it in the UI. So the differences are in Data Cloud or in Agentforce data library. The data resides in the Salesforce and it's more structured. OpenAI API is requires more custom coding. Also, costs are higher in Agentforce, of course, but it ensures privacy and control. And yeah, both have their advantages depending on the use case. And let me know your comments, which approach you prefer. Thanks for watching.